Hello, Peralta community. My name is Inger Stark, and I am the coordinator of the District Flex Day, and I am here with Trustee Napoli-Abella. Some people know her as Trustee Reiss, and she's agreed to give us a little bit of her time to give us kind of a overview of what she feels the board has accomplished in the last year and what her goals are as the board president for this coming year, so that we can all get on the same page. So thank you, Trustee Napoli-Abella, for showing up.
Thank you. This is my pleasure. It's an opportunity to actually be able to talk to you all, be able to see you and talk to you. And hopefully the next one we do will actually be in person. So let's start off with the first question. What are some of the things that the board has accomplished this year in terms of goals and in terms of things that we've done? I have to say that it's been a tough year, right? It's been a tough couple years for sure. We have had so many impediments, so many obstacles, so many challenges that we've needed to deal with and kind of really focus on. And I would say that maybe the most apparent thing is that we moved from the whole district and the 4 colleges and everybody that was involved with that moved from probation to warning status. And warning isn't our ultimate goal. We want to get out of that, but getting off probation was absolutely huge. And that was an incredible collaborative effort that took a long period of time, but it was intentional and it was focused and it was collaborative. So that's one. Another is the FICMAT and also the Chancellor's office getting off their radar. That seemed to be happening at the same time. And even though we've all talked about that, the work that needed to happen behind the scenes, I think is something that cannot be underestimated. And so being off that radar, being seen as a district that is no longer of issue, it always will be, because we have to make sure that we keep on top of it. But that's also a huge thing. In terms of getting an audit that was clean, I think that, you know, we still have issues and we still have findings, of course, that are material weaknesses and significant deficiencies, but the progress is evident. And it's not just the progress that's evident, the structure is evident too. The policies, the procedures, the changes that we're making that are going to be not temporary changes, but changes for the long term. The board has also remarkably changed. I mean, that was a huge issue for ACCJC. That's been a huge issue for all of you all, because whatever the board is doing or is not doing ends up impacting you all and, of course, our students. And I think that that was also a huge lift. And the board came together, and even though we still have our differences, and we're going to have our differences because that's part and parcel of being a board of 7, we're all united in our ability to move the district forward. We can agree to disagree, but we're moving the district forward. And I would say that just really restructuring the district in a manner that positions itself for success going forward. We're not there yet. It's going to take time and it's painful. And I'm seeing that manifest, of course. And I know that we're all seeing and feeling that manifest. But going through that change, ensuring that that it's timely and it's not quick, and really trying to get everybody on board as we go through those changes. I think that those are the things that we're doing, and we're in.
Would you be willing to elaborate a little bit? So let's say that employees of our district, faculty, classified professionals, administrators, watch the board over the next 6 to 8 months. What kinds of things are going to be on the agendas that you feel move us forward? And how do we, as employees in the district, respond, react, give feedback, and support those goals for the board?
I think that's those are wonderful questions. Maybe one of the things that continues to come to mind for me is our financial situation, right? You know, there's a part of it where, of course, ostensibly we are flush because of the CARES funds, the HER funds, because of all of the revenue that's come in for those specific reasons. But as we also know, the reality of the matter is that we have to, those are specifically for specific expenditures. But not only that, we have to make sure that we are able to spend within our means. And so given the decline in enrollment, given not just at our district, but really across the state and across the nation, we have to figure out how to ensure that how we are spending, both in terms of administration and administrative costs and all of the other costs, that it's right-sized with our enrollment, that it's right-sized with our needs. And that's always probably one of the most difficult and most tenuous targets and goals, right? And I would say with the finance, there's also a couple of things that are associated with that. The district has got to get technology right. For so many years, we've been living in another era, the medieval era. And I feel like now, and this is what I'm hearing, and this is what I'm hoping, so would love to hear feedback. I feel like the technological structure and the implementations have been put forth. Now it's a matter of, when the rubber hits the road, is it really working? Are people trained? Are staff, faculty, administrators actually using those systems? And are those processes and systems making things easier than making things much more onerous? And that, I think, is an important part. And hopefully I answered the other question, which is how can we all kind of come on board with that? I think part of it is, if we are going to make the technology work, which has been a large part of being unable to do what we've needed to do for such a long period of time, we all have to ensure that we're trained. We all have to ensure that we're actually using it correctly. And if there are parts of it that are not working, we have to be vocal about that feedback so we can get it fixed, rather than spend millions of dollars and tens of millions of dollars, which we all know, on something that has zero use whatsoever.
Okay, that is so good to hear for two reasons. One, as you know, my position is a faculty reassigned position. It only exists because it's guaranteed by the Peralta Federation of Teachers contract. And until really now, the position that I hold is the only person who consistently is responsible for any professional development in our district. And I know the Chancellor on Flex Day is going to talk a little bit about her vision for how that will be expanded. And I know that you, as the Board of Trustees, recently passed one of your goals is to lift up professional development with a focus on diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice. So yay for that goal. Thank you.
Yes. And we have to make sure that we actually enact that goal and we actually meet that goal, you know? And so I am very happy that you are in that position, because I've been eyeing your work for a long period of time, and you have been one of the most successful and effective DE coordinators that I've come across in the state, by the way. And so let's continue that on, you know, not just in DE, but now in professional development.
Yep. Well, thank you. All right, let me think. I know we wanted to keep it brief. Your time is precious. Is there anything else you would like to say to our community, the Peralta community, as the semester launches?
Yeah, you know, I am so excited about the semester. I know that we're still in this very tenuous stage where we don't know how things are going to go. I know the pandemic is becoming now an endemic, but at the same time, there's still things that we don't know, you know, in terms of how will this horizon look? How will this landscape look in terms of enrollment, in terms of students? And I know that the very first reason I even came on board was because I had met some of the faculty and thought to myself, I am so amazed at how committed and how amazing these faculty are. And with all the problems that Peralta had, the faculty committed and stayed passionate about students and stayed passionate about being here. I just hope that we still have that passion at all levels. Our faculty, our classified professionals, our administration, because the work doesn't stop, and our students are so incredibly important. But again, there are a lot of changes, and the changes are painful. And so I think the one thing that I ask is that we kind of work together through the challenges. We continue to agree to disagree, or maybe disagree at times, but I don't think that there is not one person who is trying to do the best job possible. And so I think sometimes we just need a little patience, because things don't happen as quickly as many people would like them to. But yeah, it's the beginning of the semester. Let's be energetic. Let's be passionate. Let's remain committed to the students in all kinds of different ways. And let us share just the amazingness of the Peralta colleges that we all know is here. And for a while, people kind of questioned, through ACCJC, through FICMAT, and let's make it bold, audacious, and let's make it known as the new semester launches.
You are so brilliant. With that, I will go into the semester feeling uplifted. So
I hope so. And can you spread that around? Because it's hard to do it virtually, but I cannot wait to actually start, if possible, sitting in people's classes, because I love doing that. If possible, if people would like me to be in, I would love to sit in people's classes and just kind of see the energy that's there, because I know it is there.
All right. Thank you, Trustee Napoli-Abella, Trustee Reiss, for giving us your time. And with that, we'll go off into the semester.
Sounds wonderful. See you soon. Bye, Inger. Thank you, thank you, thank you.